Hey, good morning. Welcome back to RHD Godzilla. So today we're going to work on a bunch of small little things just to kind of tidy up the car and get it ready. I'm still waiting on the starter to get here. It should have been here Tuesday. It's now Thursday. It's scheduled to be delivered this morning sometime, but we'll see if that happens. But in the meantime, just a couple small little things. One, I want to do a nut and bolt check on the car, make sure everything's tight and torque down. And then also, there's a couple of the hoses on the cooling system I'd like to eliminate, so I'm gonna work on that. I got a cap to cap off the radiator, so that way I don't have to have a line running from the radiator to the coolant reservoir, and also from the coolant reservoir up to the filler neck. So I'm gonna cap one of those two off. I'm not sure which yet. Actually, I'll probably cap off the filler neck because it's the ugliest piece of it, and either way I don't think it matters. I think as long as you have a line running to the overflow, it'll work. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna kind of clean some of the junk out of the car. I got an intercooler pipe sitting in there and some other things sitting in there, so I'm gonna work on that as well. Once I get the starter in and get everything started, I'm gonna check the fluids and make sure there's no leaks and all that stuff anywhere. Make sure that the new oil filter is not leaking, which I don't think it will. I think it's a little bit bigger than the other one was, so I think it'll seal a little bit better. Work on putting I got one of these little caps here, the silicone caps, HPS, to use to cap off the coolant line. Comes to the torque specs and that, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can go to the rx7club.com and just do a search in there. You can do a Google search, but if you do a Google search of FCRX7 FSM, which is factory service manual, it will come up with, I believe for me it's been the first link that comes up. You can click on that and it will take you to the entire factory service manual for the generations of the RX7. In this case it would be the FC, which is the second gen, and then it breaks it down by year, so it'd be 86 to 88 and then 89 to 91, which mine's an 87, but 86 to 88 turbo. So if you go in there, you can look at all the different whatever you need to fix on the car is in there. But if you go to the last section, which is the technical data, there's some good information in there on torque specs and actually all kind of specs for the car. So even right down to, I know you probably can't see this very good, or maybe you can, what a 4T, 6T, and 8T bolt would be torqued at, depending upon the diameter and the pitch and all that stuff. So kind of cool on that. Also, lots of different, measurements and information about the engine, but it also lists the tightening torque. So I don't know if you remember when I was pulling the motor out, I had a list of them. I didn't realize this was here, or else I wouldn't have made that. But for example, the turbocharger, and it breaks it down by all different units there. So, and then but it does it for pretty much everything on the car that has a torque spec anyways. And then if it doesn't have a torque spec, that's where I plan on using the standard, let me get it back over here, the standard bolt and nut tightening torque. So for example, if it has a 6T on the bolt and it is a 6mm or M6 by 1, then I would go with 5 to 7 foot-pounds of torque, which I'll probably just would do it at 6 at that point, just to split the difference. So that's kind of the plan for that. So some good information in that section. But we're gonna get started here, and let me see if I can find a bolt that has it. Let's see, that one does not. Okay, so if you look on the top of this bolt right here, and I'm trying to move it around a little bit so you can kind of see it at different angles here, but it has an 8. So that would signify that this is an 8T bolt. It is an M6 by 1. So I would take and go right here where it says, if you can see that, B6. The pitch is 1, and then you go over to the 8T, and I always use foot-pounds whenever it gives me the option because it's easier for me. And it would be a 5.8 to 8.8 foot-pounds. So I would, you know, for me, I'd probably do like a 7.5 or a 7 foot-pounds. So that's kind of how you can tell if there's a bolt that doesn't have a torque spec. That's for at least with the RX-7. That's how you can tell what the standard bolt and nut tightening torque would be. So most of the bolts that I've seen have the 4, 6, or the 8T. Some of them don't have anything, so I would just snug them down unless it told me something different. But yeah, but if you just look at the top of that right there and then use this chart, if it doesn't have a torque spec, it'll tell you what to torque it down to. So just some good information there. Anyways, we're gonna get started, get some of this stuff done, and then hopefully the starter will come in. I'll probably go ahead and start with doing the cooling system first, just because I have to get under the car anyway, so maybe I'll get lucky and the starter will get here while I'm, you know, before I get down underneath the car. So if it does, great. It saves me from having to get up and down out from underneath the car. But if it doesn't, then I'll just go to the next thing. So, all right, let's get going. Okay, like I said, the first thing we're gonna do is get the cooling system kind of cleaned up a little bit. When I say cleaned up, just there's this hose goes here, runs up, and then it splits and it goes into here, and then it goes down into the catch can here, or the reservoir overflow. So I kind of don't need them to go both directions. So what I'm probably going to do is eliminate this one here, and just run from here down to the catch can. And then I can use this cap that I got from HPS and cap this off, and I will just seal that off. So then that way it just, there's nothing right through here running through here, cleans it up a little bit and that. So should be pretty easy and straightforward, I hope. I would like to get a new new line because this one got painted for whatever reason. But either way, so let's get this going. I need to get a pair of pliers and break this loose and break this one loose, and then I will cap it off and then worry about running the lines here in just a second. So first thing we need to do is get the right size crimp here. Let's see, your hose clamp. That's a little small. Let's go one size bigger. Yeah, that should work. I could probably go one more, but I think I'm just gonna try and do it with this size here, which is, I don't know, it says it on here somewhere, a 18.5, I think. Yeah, 15 to 18.5 millimeter. So that should work. All right, so that cap was too big, so I'm gonna cut it down to the right size. So I'm just gonna measure this out to about there. So we'll do it at 15 millimeters is what we'll cut it at. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just measure this out to 15 millimeters, mark it, and cut it the best I can here. So I might just cut it. Yeah, I might just cut it just shy of this HPS, like right through there. So from there to there, and that should be enough to do it, I hope. Get your razor blade out. I'm probably just gonna cut it with the razor blade. It'd be just easier than with the pliers, and I can probably get it a little bit straighter, I hope. And if I mess this up, it kind of sucks because this thing's 15 bucks for one of these. So, all right, so I got that cut. It's pretty straight. Can probably shave a little bit of this off. There we go. There, I straightened it. All right, so then we'll go ahead and test it out here. I might be able to, I think I'm gonna cut a little bit more of it off, maybe to the other side of the line that I drew on there, and then see if that works. All right, so I've cut it down a little bit more. Let's see if that does the trick. Yeah, I think that'll work. I should be able to still take the cap on and off. Yeah, that'll work. So I'll put this on. All right, so that should work. Now, next step would be to take this one here off. So now, this one we should be able to run right underneath here like this. And plug it into there. For now, I'll get another clamp. Let's see what size we got. Yep, this will work. So I need to probably cut this down a little bit. Kinked, and we will cut it to here. All right, put that down in there like that. All right, so we've got that done. So we eliminated the line that went from here and teed off, and one went to the catch can down here, and then the other went to here. So what we did is we just capped that off, and then ran a line from the catch can, or not catch can, sorry, the coolant reservoir into the radiator. So it'll still be able to overflow into the radiator, or into the reservoir if we need it to, and yet we don't have all these extra lines that we don't need. So hopefully this doesn't leak. I don't think it will. I think it'll be fine. So if it does, then I'll do something, figure out something different. But for now, that'll work. So that's one thing off the list of things to do. All right, so the first torque spec we're gonna do is the intake manifold. And I don't know if you can see it right here, is 15 to 19 foot-pounds. So I'm just gonna set it to 17 and see where we're at. All right, we're gonna go to 17. And then we'll just go one by one. All right, intake manifold is good. All right, so the first bolts are the front, where they are, here they are. The front sway bar mounts. They are 13 to 20 foot-pounds, so I'm gonna do them probably around 17. And they are probably a 14 here. Let's see, looks like a 14. Oh nope, they are a size 12. So that one's good. All right, so the sway bar is torqued properly. It was already torqued properly, but I'm gonna do the steering rack. Is 46 to 69 foot-pounds, so let's do it at about 54. All right, so that one's tightened. So I'm glad I checked that, because that one actually had a, not loose, but loose enough to where I'd like to tighten it. So, all right, so the power steering rack is done and the sway bar is done. All right, so now we're gonna do the front end link mount. At the bottom mount is supposed to be 27 to 37 foot-pounds, so I'll probably do it right around 30. Let me see if I can get this twisted around where you can see. So it'll be this mount right here. Oops, let me get ready. That mount right there. All right, so I've gotten all the way through the car. Everything's torqued down properly. Really didn't find anything that wasn't. I am going to go through and mark each bolt though real quick with the marker, and then we'll call that good. So hoping the starter hurry up and get here, but I think FedEx usually doesn't run till about 1 o'clock, and it's now 10. I think it's 11, so I got a couple hours. So maybe we get lucky and we'll get here early. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is install this trim piece. It's kind of goes on the A-pillar. Mine broke. Well, actually it broke, but I also had a gauge pot on there years ago, so I was able to source another one. So go ahead and put this in. One thing I will say is these little push pin things here, it's always a good idea to put a little bit of like either WD-40 or some kind of grease on them, just to help them slide in a little bit easier without them breaking the tabs off. So we'll do that here in just a second and get it put in. All right, so I just got a little piece of 400 grit sandpaper. I'm just gonna sand over these just lightly, just to get that little bit of rust off them, and I'll do that on all of them. Alright, so now we'll just take, and as you can see, I kind of did this one and I forgot to put a little bit of that lithium grease on there. Okay, just kind of wipe this down a little bit to get all this extra off of it. So now we can go ahead and slide this in and get it finally put in after years of looking for one. All right, so this goes in this side first. Just like that. And then this actually needs to go up underneath. Ah, dang it. Just like this. All right, there we go. So that's back in. I just have to find the correct screw for this right here, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, so that's back in. Alright, so now the next thing I'm going to do is put this kick panel back in from where I had put the washer fluid line. Gotta get the carpeting tucked a little bit behind it. There we go. Alright, then I put this weather seal back in. Like that. And I'll have to get another pin for right here. I might have one. So. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and put this seal in. So I'm missing 3 screws, which I've been missing, I think, for a long time. So let's see if I have any in here. No, I don't. So I have to go to the store and see if I can find something that'll fit and look like it should be there. But this is closed, or in, anyways. All right, so I'm gonna kind of work on just getting some of the stuff that shouldn't be in here cleaned out. So like this here shouldn't be in there. I shouldn't need any back in here right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of put this up here like this. Let's see what we got. So I'll need this in here a little bit later on. Nah, I don't really need this right now. I do need it, but not right now. Same with this one here. It's just extra stuff I don't need. Alright, so this stuff I'll keep in here just so I don't lose it. Alright, so the car's just cleaned out. I'm not gonna, I'll detail it once it's done. I'll kind of give it a good wash, but for now everything's out of it. I'll do a vacuum and wash and all that stuff hopefully this weekend if everything goes right with this. So I'll see you shortly.